going on with my hair?
We are live. I am talking with Christie Majors. I've admired her for a while, and I finally get a chance to ask her some real questions. And I feel like I keep saying this, and so I'm always like, I really don't know a ton about your business. I know that you're killing it, and I know that you've recently made the jump over to Real Broker, and I know that you're having a massive influence over there. And so I just wanted to ask you some real questions about like what's your background in real estate, kind of what has been leading up to the Real jump, what made you decide to take a serious look at Real, and what has been your experience since. So I guess the background, like where are you from? How'd you get into real estate? What's your background?
Well, I'm from Fresno, California, which is the center of California, and I was born and raised there. I was a commercial loan officer for 10 years, and then I met the love of my life, Bobby Majors, and he was working in title and escrow, and he said, "Oh, you should go do residential." And I said, "No, I do commercial." And he's like, "No, you're going to have all this free time. You're going to have kids and go to their soccer games and go to their basketball games." And then I didn't have any time.
Yeah, then you went into residential and you're busier than you could ever be.
Yeah, I was a buyer's agent for the first 6 months with an REO guy out of Fresno, and it was in 08, 09, it was nuts. And so all I did was answer my phone every day, all day long. And what that did was that kept me relevant to all the buyers and sellers. So I went out on my own, and I've had my team for about 7 years now. 7 out of the last 12 years, I've had a team.
Specifically in Fresno?
In Fresno.
Do you do real estate in Utah as well, or do you just live kind of in both places?
I actually moved here in November, and I was licensed off of my 90 hours that Utah makes you take.
There's no reciprocity. It's crazy, right?
None. Zero. Yeah. And Utah's not a community state. So it's like every part of my brain had to get rewired. Yeah. So I got licensed in February, and then I started doing real estate here. I started my lead sources here: Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, Rocket Mortgage, and started the team here.
So where are you? Because it's beautiful where you are. Like, where are you physically right now? That is amazing. Is this Fresno or Utah?
This is Utah. It's Hidden Valley Country Club is the backyard, and then those are the mountains. Let's see, what's this way? Hello.
So is that Park City area? Is that
this is on the Salt Lake City side.
Okay.
This is 20 minutes south of Salt Lake City in Draper, Utah. Sandy, Utah.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm coming up to play a golf tournament there end of next month. Hobble Creek, I think it's called. Anyways, so an insurance agent down here in Vegas runs a golf tournament up there, so I'm going up there to play. All right. So as far as companies concerned, like who were you with in Fresno prior, like leading up to the Real Broker conversation?
The big red KW.
Okay. So and so from 08, when you got into real estate, were you with KW?
No, I actually started at one of the, a couple of the local ones. I jumped around because I kept getting asset management companies. Yeah. So if any, we get Fannie Mae account. The Fannie Mae account is like gold back here in 09 and 10, and then the brokerage said, "We already have a Fannie Mae, so you have to leave because you can't have two Fannie Mae accounts." And then I go to the next brokerage. The next brokerage says, "Well, you're too young in the business, so we're going to take it away from you." I'm like, "Okay, all of you guys suck." So I went to KW. It was a woman-owned business in Fresno. The operating partner operating principal is a woman. It worked out that she just had my back. I mean, I'm not going to say anything bad about KW. It's a great company.
Right.
And I feel like I started in elementary school, and I finally, 8 years later, went off to college, and they wanted to keep me there. I just grew up, and my team is doing a lot of business, and I just wanted a little more control. None of us are control freaks in real estate. And so I went off to EXP, which I had known about for 7 years, and I just couldn't. I didn't want to do it on my own. I guess it was too risky in my town. And then all of a sudden, everybody came to EXP. So what happened is it all came so saturated, and fighting over the who's under who and the pyramid. It was just, I just got to tell you, it was not my cup of tea. So when I moved to Utah to put my kids in school, because California is not my favorite when it comes
like Nevada. Nevada is basically California Junior.
Yeah.
Whatever policies you guys have, we follow.
Yeah, I won't say anything about our governor, but what I will tell you is a political refugee. I moved to Utah.
Yeah.
And put him in school, and then I found out about spring being sent, and I have been coaching with Metrics for the last 6 years, and we decided to do to Real. I mean, it just became well, why not? Because it was in the ground floor where EXP was 7 years ago. We got another shot at this. And oh, by the way, the company is so emotionally, physically, mentally strong to not have that kind of disaster happen of the cutthroat recruiting.
Yeah.
So for me, I just found home. I got to say, like, I was good with KW. I was okay with EXP, but this is home. It really is.
Well, and the funny thing is, when I talked to Spring and we started talking to the Real Broker people, like Taylor and I have been pretty heads down here in Vegas. Like, we haven't paid attention. EXP has grown here exponentially. We were approached maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but for us, the multi-levels of compensation for us was just such a strange concept at the time. And then it did become pretty spammy. But I admired what some people were doing from a financial standpoint, like peers of ours that really, really grew crazy amount of wealth in that system. And so I look back and I go like, well, when we started, because we were Remax guys, our Remax franchise got bought out by Better Homes and Gardens. So we started an indie brokerage here in 2010. We sold the indie brokerage, started another indie brokerage in 2016. And then we're approached by EXP, and it was too foreign of because everything I knew about revenue share was based on everything in your new home up in Salt Lake, Young Living Farms and ACN and who does my sister or my niece work for? The alarm company up there. It was like every MLM that I was aware of were vitamins and knives and pest control and everything else. And so for me, it was a very strange concept with real estate. So I had been heads down, and then the real concept came to us. And I think we saw the same thing you saw, which was, I don't have a time machine to go back 5 or 6 years, but I can link myself with a company that I believe has figured out a lot of the idiosyncrasies that led to some negativity in the EXP world. I feel like Real Broker has really tried to remedy some of those situations with, if you join my downline, you come to Hawaii and stuff like that. Like, all that stuff is off limits here. So then it leads to really cool growth, like peer-based growth among like attraction of like-minded individuals. I think is something that
Well, on top of that, it's kind of like we're trying to help, not just make money.
Right.
So when Spring and I have this downline, I've got, I think, 51 now.
Yeah.
I'm talking to them and setting up meetings and setting up Zooms and setting up in-person events for teaching them wealth building. I don't ever getting invited to a wealth building EXP event. It was recruit. And so,
how long were you in the EXP world?
2.5 years.
Oh, wow. And how big was what did you walk away from there? I mean, confidentially speaking.
Yeah, confidential on live TV. Yeah, it was well over 6 figures.
So, yeah.
But I will say this, when I'm telling people that they can leave EXP, it was per share. So I believe it was 3,500 shares or 4,500 shares, something like that. Okay.
Right.
So it didn't matter what the stock price was. I was leaving those shares.
Right.
So all I did here was bring my team to Real, and guess what I got? I got 500 shares per every single one because they did a transaction. I already made all my shares.
Right.
I can tell people that I left six figures, but I gained the exact amount of shares coming to Real.
Right. Right.
Now, anybody that I bring on past my team is just bonus because I've already made it back.
So what has been, because you have had explosive growth, I think number one, you're a top producer, and so agents trust, like you've got a rad backstory in doing Taylor and I were in the hunt of the asset management companies and all that fun stuff in 06, 07, 08. We were part of Barack Obama's neighborhood stabilization program and helping the city of Las Vegas buy houses. So we have some of the same pedigree there. So I think people naturally trust you because you've got kind of a rad backstory. But what are people gravitating toward with Real? I mean, for you to have brought over with you 15 team members or whatever, but then you've attracted 35, 36 additional individuals. Like what's resonating with them? Like why are you having so much success in your mentorship approach?
I definitely think because they understand I've been coaching with metrics for the last 5 years. Okay. That's number one. They know that I have Airbnbs. They know I have, subject twos and wholesaling, and anyone that's in my conversations know I'm doing all of that. So
Right.
when somebody is new and they're saying, well, why Real? I said, well, why not? Number one,
Yeah.
if you already understand that the naysayer said EXP would do nothing, right? It was an
Right.
broker. So as long as everybody understood what EXP turned into, which is why it's such a great company, right? They're not going anywhere.
Right.
But neither did Facebook when Instagram came on. And
Right.
Instagram didn't go anywhere when Snapchat came on.
Right.
They need to be great companies with their own lane that they're going to stay in. So when I'm talking about the upline of me and Spring and Colton, right? Bringing wealth building to anybody and everybody who wants to be in our meetings.
Right.
So saying the side hustle, everyone, you can see on Facebook, those realtor groups, right? They're saying, what's your side hustle? What's your side hustle? I sell solar. I sell, I do furnishings. I do staging. Like there's side hustles, but what it does is it's another job. I'm still just doing my job of slinging real estate. Side hustle of stock. I just got to say, when that happens and you didn't do anything, that's all passive. It's non-invasive passive income, right? I didn't do anything.
Yeah. And I think part of it too is I've been doing this for 20 years and I got into real estate when I was 21. I'll be 42 this summer. And real estate agents, if I know anything about successful real estate agents, they're really good at slinging houses and they're really bad at wealth creation. Mm-hmm. Because I did a video last week where I talked about the necessity of obsession with wealth and how as we as real estate professionals become obsessed with the creation of wealth, we stop the roller coaster of work really hard, get a couple of deals in escrow and close them, and then resent the hard work that got us there. And so we take the time off that we have now earned and we go on vacation and then we spend our commission check and then we show back up and go like, oh crap, I got to work again. Yep. And it's like when you're obsessed with getting commission checks, you are on a vicious roller coaster of being rich and being poor, where if you become obsessed with wealth creation, then getting commission checks is a part of the process of building wealth. And the thing that I tell people, I'm so jealous of people that have time. Like my son is 17. He's going to go do some humanitarian service for a couple of years. When he gets back, he's going to come into this world of real estate and wealth building. And I'm so jealous of the time he's going to have to build what you and I are now going like, okay, we got to make this happen. Yeah. He's going to do it when he's 21. And I can only imagine if I had met Christie Majors when I was 21 and you said to me like, hey, come into this real world, let's build some wealth, get some stock, get some residual income. And I'm like, so now we meet younger agents that are, should I come to KW or EXP or Real or Compass or whatever? And I love being able to say to them, like, do not come into my world if you're not obsessed with building wealth. Because if you just want to make commission, go somewhere else. If you want to build wealth, then let's talk. And it sounds like you're having a lot of those same discussions with agents.
Absolutely. My team is fairly young. I've got my goddaughter who turned 21 and it's got 1 year left of school. And she's like, I'm going to go be an agent. Okay, go be an agent. I won't let you work until you graduate. You have to graduate first. So she's joining my team in Fresno. Well, she was on the team here in Utah and she just moved back to Fresno to go to Fresno State because the president said everyone has got to come in person. And and so she's going to join my team. And she's already saying, okay, now what I do next? I said, well, you need to get a life insurance policy. Why? Yeah. Well, because in 10 years, because you're going to do a 10-year pay whole life, that wealth is going to be built. And then you're going to borrow off that cash value and you're going to be doing flips with me. And she, but Christy, it costs like $2,000 every, one time. I'll go, okay, fine. Take it for monthly. I don't care. But
right.
It took me only probably one day to convince her to do it because she's been around me for so long. She's like, if Christy has 2 life insurance policies, not because she wants to make Bobby rich when she died of high blood pressure,
which is why you can't drink Diet Coke anymore.
Yes. But what happens is now I'm my own bank.
Right.
So I'm in a 10-year pay on a life insurance policy. I'm year 8 right now on one of them. And I already have a $300,000 line of credit that didn't cost me anything, but because it's just my life insurance.
Right.
But when I borrow off of it, I think it's 2.1%.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. That's wealth building.
Yeah.
Had I put my life insurance policy on me at age 21 instead of, well, I'm 49, so 41. Do you know what kind of money I would have now?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about to everybody. Go get a life insurance policy. I'm not a life insurance person. I'm not a salesman of it.
Right.
But it's certainly, if you want to be your own bank, yes, well, then this is what you have to do.
Well, and that's what I think what I love about the Real Broker world is, for us, we were always brick and mortar in Vegas. And we had, we coached and mentored, we received coaching and mentorship. We would collaborate with agents in other marketplaces from a position of, like a referral, or we would generate leads for them and whatnot. But what I love about Real is there is an obsession with feeding and helping the people that you sponsor into the Real network to help them be successful directly. And I'm no expert on any other revenue share-based real estate companies, but from what I've gathered, a lot of them focus more on the depth of getting down 6 or 7 levels, where the obsession with Real is how can I help as many people as I possibly can that I have direct relationships with, and how can I teach them to not only accomplish what I've accomplished, but to be better than I've been. Like to grow faster than I've grown and build more wealth than I can build. And I love that principle of the Real Broker network, is that it's not about me having income coming from level 7 of some individual that I've never met and has never met me, but it's all about me connecting with individuals on a one-on-one basis that I can help be successful by teaching them this stuff that you're really good at teaching people. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go pay to do coaching. If I go learn what I'm learning in coaching and then I do nothing with it, what does that say about me? Right? Well, at my other brokerages, I couldn't bring anything because they all thought they knew more than me. Okay, that's great. But you know more about Fresno than I do. That's great too. But I got something that's going on in Alabama and Texas and in Vegas that you guys don't know about.
Right.
And I think that's where the network comes from with me, is that I'm talking to people. I was talking to someone in Canada the other day about Real, right? Like it is a synergy that now, let's just say this person comes with me, not under me, because I don't say that. But
sure.
On this journey, I'm now going to be talking to them about wholesaling, life insurance policies. It's ridiculous when I'm going to talk about them with when they may not have ever heard any of this because they're a single agent. All of a sudden, they got a network of 5, 6 of us that are just going to do everything possible to throw all this information to our downline via Facebook, via website, via blogs, Instagram, whatever it is. And gosh, if you take a couple nuggets off of interviews like this, right? Well, wait a minute. Christy said life insurance policy. Let me go get one.
How does that work?
He's so happy to get DM'd. Hey, Christy, I got my life insurance policy, and in 5 years, my cash value is $500, and I can get $300,000 line of credit.
Right.
Oh, that would make me so happy.
Well, and there's something amazing about having Christie Majors have a vested interest in your success, or to have Spring, or to have Colton, or you know what I mean? Like that's, I think I love that principle. I have, when we were running our indie brokerage, agents would say, hey, I want to come over and be a part of what of your company, but I'm really obsessed with 100. I want to keep 100% of my commission. And I would always, my response to them was always, there's a lot of companies out there that you can keep 100% of your commission and you could just pay a transaction fee. But why would you want me to have such little interest in your success? Mm-hmm. They're like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, if you come over and pay a transaction fee that our company makes $1,000 a year from you closing 5 deals or whatever, it's not going to get me excited to help you grow. The thing I love about the Real Broker world is, yes, there is compensation that goes to Real Broker, and yes, it is a revenue share company, which then gives every single individual that meets you and joins with you, gives everyone that has brought you into the company a vested interest in that individual's business. And so then the mentorship becomes very organic. Everybody I've met so far in the Real Network has been very collaborative by nature, but there's also something about taking that natural collaboration and partnering it with wealth building, collective wealth building, that when you have a vested interest in somebody's success, you're naturally going to have that little extra jump in your step to help them succeed. Right. So I guess the question I would have for you, what advice would you give somebody who, I did a video today about breaking up with their broker. I mean, I'm sure your exit from EXP wasn't a ton of fun. I'm sure your exit from Keller Williams to go to EXP wasn't a ton of fun. Yeah. So what advice do you give? I mean, it seems like the rejection I would get from people is, I really want to be a part of what you're building, Joe, but I'm really happy where I am, and I love my broker. So what has been your response to those type of conversations?
So that's a very tough question. Thank you very much. I really am having the conversation about what are they doing for you? Right. Can you just tell me? I'm not trying to be negative, but just tell me line item by line item what they're doing for you. And the first thing I hear is it's a brick and mortar. I like going to an office. Yeah. Okay. What's the next thing? They pay for my signs up and my lock boxes to get up. Okay, so how many listings did you do this year? 4. 4 times $20 is your time for an hour to go put a sign. Okay.
Right.
And then and how much was your E&O insurance? How much did you pay your broker? I mean, you're on a 95-5 split, but do you know what that 5% is? Yeah, $72,000. Okay. After I get all the answers, because you have to stay in curiosity when you're talking to someone, because you're not trying to be a salesperson. I'm not a salesperson. I know I can help you. And if you come up with, I only spent 10 grand and I get all these things, but I don't have revenue share, then my answer is, well, do you want a side hustle? No. Yeah. Oh, okay. Then you don't need to come to Real. Right. And I bow out first. But if it's yes, okay, that's Real. But when you're going through these numbers, okay, so the cap is 12,000, but you paid 72. I'm going to get you, a $60,000 increase in the next year if you do nothing different. What would you do with that $60,000?
Pay for a lot of signs to go up.
Pay for a lot of signs. But the brokers love the loyalty. I think is utterly amazing. I had that with my OP. There was nobody that was going to steal me away from KW. I don't care what they gave me or offered me. Did I go away?
Just for a second. Your sound went away, but you're...
Sorry. You don't have to be unhappy to leave a brokerage.
Right.
You have to just know what you need to be a success for your family, because family comes before brokerage. So if you need more time with your family, then you probably need a little bit of a side hustle so that you don't have to work as hard in real estate. Well, let me tell you about stock. Let me tell you about the cap. Let me tell you about a 0 per month fee that keeps your overhead low. Okay. And a Chime, which is a CRM that's amazing at no cost. So that's how I get through that entire conversation, because it's not just, you can throw those negatives at me, but I've already been into the traditional brokerage. I've already been at EXP. I know exactly what all these numbers are. And why would I leave? Why would I have to go spend $4,000 on new signs and new marketing and new swag? Why would I do that? Well, I only made about $4,000 net more in my pocket. Yes, you are literally correct. I went from a 16 cap to a 12 cap. But I went from, at the high point, $164 a share, and I went down to $2.05 a share with the same amount of shares.
Right.
So I'm just saying, I moved for an emotional jumpstart in going back to helping people. And I moved for financial gain of being on the ground floor of a company that's going to do at least half of what EXP has done. At least half.
Well, and what I love too is the principles of attraction over recruiting. I mean, we have been hardcore recruiting to our brokerage for 5 years to love local real estate here in Las Vegas. And the conversations have been refreshing for me in the attraction side of Real Broker. We get a lot of people that reach out to us now because we've made a lot of noise about how excited we are. And it is a lot of those same principles where I would say to somebody, well, let me ask you this. Do you want are you building wealth? Do you want a side hustle? And if they say, I just want 100%, then I just tell them I'm not your guy. And it's so refreshing to say that and not to have to try to fit them into the box that I don't even know the correct term, but like when we owned our brokerage, it was all about building our wealth. So we had 138 agents that, as they succeed, helped us become more wealthy. And now when any agent calls me with any problem, it's kind of like the Zac Efron, not far from where you are now, is where High School Musical was filmed. And it's about us all being in there together, right? Is that West High or whatever it is? And so that principle of being in it together allows for conversations like this to happen. Because you and I, this is our first time we've really spent together, but we're in the same world, we're in the same family. And I think that collaboration over, real estate. I met with a girl today coming over to Real Broker from another office, and she just talked about how lonely she is and how, she's so far in her career, it's been all her by herself. And I love how much with Real, it gives people the opportunity. I'm jealous of anyone that Christie brought into the real world because, I want you to have a vested interest in my business. And so, anyways, I think more than anything, I just wanted to sit down and hear your story. This was live. We had some people log on. We'll have people watch it later. It'll be on YouTube or whatever. But more than anything, I just wanted people to get to know you. And I hope you do get some of those messages that, hey, I did my first life insurance policy, and in 5 years, I'm going to have some money to invest properties, because every individual I've met in this network, like I said, has been very collaborative. And you may be doing something that would really help my business. I may be doing something that would really help your business. But in the long run, I think it's that collaborative nature that will allow us to succeed. So if somebody's curious about, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think that if everybody whenever I meet someone from another company, I'm saying it's not just me. You get everyone around me. I mean, I got a couple of people moving to Vegas. Guess who I'm going to be sending them off to? You, Joe.
Yeah.
You know,
awesome.
I didn't know you before now. And guess what? Now you're going to get any of my agents that are moving to, to Vegas.
Yep. It's awesome. Well, how can somebody get a hold of you? If somebody has questions about Real Broker, if somebody has questions about life insurance, you need to get your life insurance license to sell some policies. But how can people get in touch with you?
Well, it's one of my clients that is a life insurance, so I would never take money out of their pocket. They support me, I support them. Well, I would say that you could always call my cell phone. You can, I guess, did I give out my cell phone number?
It's up to you. I give out my cell phone number and no one ever calls it. So
okay, so everyone get a piece of paper. It's 801-822-4486. Christie Majors. Search my name's at the bottom of this. You can find me on Facebook. I accept everybody.
We used to be so protective over our Facebook worlds, and now it's like, come on in. Like the only people I don't accept friend requests from are from one specific company because I got tired of getting pitched by them every time they friend request me.
Yes, I get spam too, but you can tell because you have no mutual friends. And then also my email is majorsrealty@gmail.com. So
awesome.
You can find me. I'm not hard to find. You can just Google me. And then don't listen to all the noise about, she's too rough to deal with. Oh, wait a second. Who was I fighting for? That buyer? Oh, it's okay. I'll take that reputation all day long.
Exactly. I love it. I love real people. I love people in the real network, and I love people who are real people. So
the website I've got is joinreal-us.com. That's the website I have, and it gets to me and gets them all the information. I did a little spreadsheet. It's so cool. I should send it to you, Joe.
I want to see it. Yeah.
It's EXP versus real, numbers versus numbers. That's is insane. I'm an EXL geek, a numbers girl. And I was like, no way, this is so cool. It pre-fills in and you put in a commission and it pre-fills up.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, all right, Christie, thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having me, Joe. You can call me anytime.
Okay.
Okay, bye.